Let me ask you something a little uncomfortable. When was the last time you checked your bank account and felt your chest tighten, not because you didn't know the number, but because you were afraid of what it meant? That small pause, that silent breath, that moment where your brain starts running all these scenarios you never asked for. What if I lose my job? What if an emergency happens? What if I'm already too late? That feeling isn't really about money. It's about control. And today, I'm going to show you how to take it back. Not with motivation, not with hype, not with another get-rich-quick fantasy, but with a system, a mental and financial framework that separates the people who stay anxious their entire lives from the people who move through the world with quiet confidence. Because here's the truth, no one tells you, money doesn't create peace. Clarity does. And once you have clarity, panic loses its power. Most people think they're stressed about money because they don't have enough of it, but that's not really true. They're stressed because they don't understand where it goes, why it leaves, and how it's supposed to come back. Imagine driving a car at full speed, but with no dashboard, no fuel gauge, no speedometer, no map. That's exactly how most people live their financial lives. Every bill feels like a surprise. Every expense feels like an attack. Every single paycheck feels like a moment of relief that's immediately followed by regret 2 weeks later. When this happens, the brain goes into survival mode. And when the brain is in survival mode, it doesn't think long term. It doesn't plan. It doesn't build. It just reacts. That's why people who are stressed about money often make the worst financial decisions. They don't invest. They don't save. They don't design systems. Instead, they escape through food, shopping, subscriptions, endless distractions. Not because they're weak, but because their nervous system is just exhausted. And today, we're going to change the system that creates that stress in the first place. Picture this in your mind. A person reaching for their future, but there's a chain pulling them back to their past. That chain isn't debt, it isn't bills, it isn't even a low income, it's financial fog. When you don't have a clear structure, everything feels heavy. You don't know what you can actually spend, what you should be saving, what you could invest, or even what really matters to you. So every single decision becomes emotional, and emotional money decisions always lead to the same place: more stress and less progress. Here's the shift most people never make. You don't need more money first, you need a money system first. Because once that system is in place, even a small income starts behaving like a big income, and that panic starts turning into real momentum. Let's build this system step by step. It has 3 layers. Layer 1 is the safety layer. This is where peace begins. You need to build a financial floor, a number in your mind that represents your survival, not your lifestyle. Ask yourself this question: what does it cost for me to exist for 1 month without any panic? I'm not talking about comfort or luxury, just survival. Rent, food, transportation, phone, basic utilities. That's your baseline number. Now multiply that number by 3. That is your peace fund. Because when you know, truly know, that you can survive for 3 months without any income, something powerful happens inside your mind. You stop negotiating with fear. You stop accepting bad deals, toxic jobs, and desperate decisions. You start moving with leverage. Layer 2 is the control layer. This is where clarity becomes your power. Most people track money like a diary. I spent this much here, I spent that much there. That doesn't change your behavior. Instead, you need to give every single dollar a job. Before money even arrives in your account, it already knows where it's going. You create 3 simple channels for your money: living, building, and growing. The living channel keeps you alive, your day-to-day expenses. The building channel protects you. This is for your peace fund and other savings goals. And the growing channel moves you forward. This is for your investments. When your money has a purpose, it stops feeling like it's just slipping through your hands. It starts feeling like you have a team that is working for you, 24/7. Layer 3 is the expansion layer. This is where people truly separate themselves. Most people stop at stability, but we're not here for that. This layer is all about making your money multiply without you having to be there. I'm not talking about gambling, or guessing, or chasing the latest trends. I'm talking about real systems, long-term investments, skills that increase your income, and assets that produce cash flow. This is where your future self starts paying your present self back. And once that loop starts, stress just begins to fade, because now, for the first time, time is on your side. Let me tell you something most financial channels won't. Rich people don't think about money all the time. It's the poor and stressed people who do. Because when you build these systems, money becomes background noise. It just works for you without you having to constantly worry about it. You stop asking, how am I going to survive this month? And you start asking, what do I want my life to look like in 5 years? That is the real upgrade. It's not about your lifestyle. It's about your perspective. You stop playing defense and you start playing design. You're designing the life you actually want. There's a quiet, almost invisible moment where your relationship with money completely changes. It's not when you hit a certain number in your bank account. It's not when you buy something big. It's the moment you realize, I'm not reacting anymore. I'm directing. From that moment forward, panic doesn't just disappear, but it no longer controls you. It becomes a signal, not your master. 5 years from now, there are 2 versions of you. One of them is going to say, I wish I had started when I first understood this. and the other one is going to say, I'm so glad I didn't ignore that moment. This video, right here, right now, is that moment. Not because of what you watch, but because of what you decide to do after it ends. Systems don't change lives, decisions do. If this video shifted the way you think about money, don't keep it to yourself. Because someone in your life is still stuck in panic mode even if they never say it out loud. Share this with them. And if you want more content that doesn't just talk about money, but teaches you how to control it, design with it, and grow with it, then subscribe. Not for motivation, not for hype, but for clarity. Because clarity is what turns stress into strategy, and strategy is what builds freedom. Thanks for watching.